Good morning.
Good. There's the volume. Good
I'm here.
morning, beautiful.
I'm here. They're here. You're here.
Good to see you. But I was doing my morning hush push.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We got to. We have to. So what this is called this morning, it is stepping into your calling/blessings.
Stepping into
Stepping into it.
not not falling into it like you fall in love.
Mm-mm.
Not flying into it like they flow into the twin towers.
Nope. Nope.
Stepping.
Stepping. Not
Talk to us,
stepping in
Doc.
the name of love. Not stepping past, stepping through, stepping over, stepping into.
Stepping into. What's the significance of me stepping into it?
Well, if somebody's stepping into it, that means that they are consciously aware of what's coming next. We don't need to fall. We don't need to fly or fall or stumble, because all that means is we were unsure about. So stepping into means that we've already prayed for it. God has already answered it, and we're just trusting that when He tells us to go one way or the other, that is that time. And now is that time.
These are ordered steps.
Yes.
That's the difference. I like that.
These
My
are I've been obedient. I've just been waiting to hear the call. Once I got that phone call, I knew it was time to go ahead and whether get dressed or I'm already dressed, and I just go ahead and just do what I need to do. But I've been waiting for the call.
that's that. I stay ready, so I
Yes.
ain't gotta get
Get
ready.
ready. Yes. Yes.
I'm trying to think of Bible script that goes with stepping into it, and there's so many.
Right.
There, there's so many. The very first one I see is Adam and Eve in the garden,
Hmm.
where they are out of place, but God is still in love. And when they're running away from Him, the Bible says that success followed them so heavy that the voice was walking behind them. It has to call you even when you don't want to get up in the morning and you run into sleepland. That the favor of God is walking behind you. Jeremiah, get up out that bed. It it is the same as my grandmother used to wake us up 3:30 a.m. Every morning. she she used a few choice words, but she say, "Negro, get up out that bed.
Right.
You got a yard to mow. The grass hadn't even came out the red dirt yet, but she said to get up. Uh, but the steps were ordered by somebody in the background.
Mm-hmm.
All we do is come here and just walk around. What is in the background?
I know one of the first things that comes to my mind is David. The David or Daniel. So we'll start with David.
Daniel.
You gonna start? You gonna go with David or Daniel? Either way.
Daniel.
Daniel. So we'll go with Daniel. Things happened to where the people of Israel got captured. So they're under a new king, King Nebuchadnezzar. I believe it was somebody else before him, but I believe where all of this stuff starts to take place is King Nebuchadnezzar.
Yeah.
Well, Nebuchadnezzar wants to call a bunch of the fine-looking gentlemen of the Israel people so they can learn their language, eat their kind of food, and pretty much so they can be transformed. So they're not necessarily knowing Israelite culture, but they're learning Greek culture. Nebuchadnezzar says to one of the imps or one of the slave guards or whatever, we're not going to eat this stuff and we don't want to drink your wine. Let us eat what we're going to eat. And, so we can be fine. And then the guard says, well, why should y'all look any different than the rest of them? You're going to get me in trouble. He said, give us 10 days. Daniel said, give us 10 days, me and my compadres, and see if our continents don't look better than the others. 10 days passed. They looked better, stronger. They were wiser than the rest of them. Everybody else looked sluggish and slow and whatever. So he was obedient in knowing what God has already called him to do, to where people started looking at him as, well, you're pretty wise, you're pretty smart, to where he stepped into his blessings and his callings as far as being not a soothsayer, but a dream interpreter. Daniel is known for interpreting dreams. He was known for giving Nebuchadnezzar the right guidance in life. And you are already a king, but let me help you interpret these things by the God that I serve. Yeah.
Daniel was one of the Hebrew boys.
Yeah.
Not listed with them because in every text or depiction of the text, he's one of, but he's not ever with them.
Right.
Because he goes ahead of them. Your steps are ordered that folk follow you, that you don't even know that folk relate you, that they're success to you, that you are walking in the directive way that God ordained for you to lead folks that you ain't never met. You become a role model for folks that you ain't never introduce yourself to. You trying to find out why all these folk behind you screaming somebody's name that sound like you. It's because God pushed you in the forefront, not to come, like you said, cloud about you. No, it's about being the role model that God ordered my steps. And you said when he stepped in, that God gave him the gift of interpreting dreams. So he woke up, stepped in a room, and started to interpret. He got up from sleeping. He said, enough of dreaming. And now it's time to get up and start interpreting. When you know God goes ahead of you, it don't matter what dream is in my head. It don't matter what plans are before me. When I get up, because I've got it, then it's time to move and build it. It's time to go with it. It's not time to think and contemplate and doubt me. It's time for me to see everything that God would show me in dreams now in the manifestation of it, because I can walk in it.
Yeah.
Woke me up to walk.
Yeah. How do you become so blessed, so powerful, to where you consult a consultant, you consult a king, somebody who is over the whole nation, over the whole world, but he comes to you for interpretation. He comes to you because he knows that if he makes too many wrong decisions, too many bad choices, that he won't be king too much longer. And he realizes that because of you, because of who the God that you serve, that he's only allowed to be in the kingdomship. That he's been placed there because of the God that you serve. So eventually things will happen to where he will start serving your God.
Good God.
But you have to be able to step into your blessings, into your callings, in order to hear and in order to interpret these dreams, in order to step into this, in order to for this king to be placed in certain positions. Because things are only going the way that they're going because we're being obedient. I have to turn down some things. I have to go through some things. I have to go under some things. So a lot of the things that we would complain about, or sometimes we're going through it, wish we never went through it. God is blessing us. God is getting us ready for things that we didn't even know in order for us to be blessed. So before then, Daniel did what? He got thrown away by his brothers. They tried to kill him, but they couldn't kill him because he had another calling.
Who'd you say?
Is that Daniel? His
Daniel.
brothers?
He had brothers?
Who am I thinking of?
Joseph.
Joseph. Yeah. Before all of this.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Excuse me, guys. So, some other things had to happen before we got to Daniel. Joseph had to go through his brothers throwing him away, trying to kill him, in order for him to live even in Egypt, in order to be to pretty much get in a right position to be liked and loved by the other kings and queens and different things like that, just in order for in the future for Daniel to have his place right there where he is. So if one thing hadn't happened, then another thing hadn't happened, then another thing hadn't happened, we wouldn't have gotten where we are. So we wonder why my brother had to die years before I was born. I wonder why my mom and dad had to do the certain things that they did. I wonder why my cousins had to do and go through things that they did in order for it to get to me. And I wonder why I had to go through the things that I did in order for me to get here. Is because I'm stepping into my blessings. I'm stepping into my calling. So we can't clap and we can't clout on the things that happened before me or before you. We just have to praise God and say, I'm ready for that phone call. I'm ready for that calling. I'm standing right here, right next to it. Just whenever you're ready, I'm here. I ain't got to get ready. I'll stay ready.
Come on. He said, I am in the pit. Not Daniel, not even David. Joseph, the dreamer. You just talked about the dream. But when you have a dream, that the problem becomes that they hate you. But watch this. It said even more. It's not that you dreaming. The problem is that we hated you before because you had vision. Oh my God! They hated you when you started walking and started talking. Now don't give your walking, talking self a dream. If they only could see into your future, everything that God placed inside your mind while you were sleeping, that they wouldn't hate you, they would literally kill you. But they tried to. So they threw them in the pit and says, now what, you dreamer? He said, I may be in the pit, but I'm going to talk my way out of it. It don't matter how they feel about it. Don't stop talking about it. Don't shut your mouth about the dream. You keep on talking until you see everything God showed you in your mind. You see it out of your mouth, and then be able to walk into it in the manifestation of it. You got to talk your way out. I'm talking my way up on the house. I'm talking my way up on the job. I'm talking my way up on the promotion. I'm talking my way up on a wife. I'm talking my way up on the next one, the new one, the now one. I'm talking my way, and it don't matter what you do to me. You better be careful here though, because my pit may end up being your prison if you don't handle me careful. Because God don't play about folks who he put dreams in. They're not to be damaged. They ain't to be played with. The pit'll make you look pitiful. But this is my playground.
He said, I dreamed this. What you doing to me, what you think that you're doing to me, I've dreamed this. I already knew this was coming. I already forgive you. I forgave you before you even did this. So guess what? My dream goes so far into detail to where I'm going to end up saving y'all's life and you ain't even going to know it. But I'm not going to boast and I'm not going to cloud about it. I'm just going to wait until the time comes and I'm just going to look so different that y'all not going to be able to recognize me where because once you stepped into your blessing, your callings, you don't look the same. Moses came down from the mountain and he looked like a completely different person.
Change.
You go
1,002 years.
You go up to God as a child. You come back from God as a wise, wisdomatic man. You got to step into it. You got to know that there's a difference. There's a calling. There's a change on the horizon. Horizon means you have to walk with your head up in order so you can see.
Come on.
You can't get so stuck in what's on the ground. I know the more we look at the ground, because sometimes you find money down there. So when you find money down there, you always, some people want to walk with their head down looking for money, but you can't make money if your head is down because you're going to miss the blessing, the calling that's right there in front of you. Stop worrying about the $20 that's on the floor when you have 20 million.
Hold your head up.
You have to. Hey, make sure you walk with that head up now. I know that much. Yeah, we have to step into our calling. We have to step into our blessings. I actually want to take the time to plug Bible Sense. We are starting a podcast. The Lord has been blessing us and he has anointed us to start a podcast. It is going to be on Spotify very soon. It is called Bible Sense. Don't worry, we will send you links. Pretty much what Bible Sense is, it is a way for us to break down the Bible in a real world, nowadays world sense or way. Pretty much just helping everyone understand the Bible and us just leaving a little bit of change. That's exactly what it is.
I love that. I like it. I was thinking along those same lines that if the God of the Bible hasn't been good to you, then we'll make it make sense.
Right.
Then change it.
Right. And this is not no 2 cents. This is God's sense. This is the change for the better.
You know, one of the things we decided on, I'm wearing the gift you gave me, sir.
I see that. It still looks good, man.
At first I didn't think it would fit me right because you like buff and stuff, but man, it's like don't pay no attention to my background.
That fits. That's nice.
I feel like a 72-year-old with style and a girlfriend.
You need to have a ball cap to the back with the chain, and then the one ring on the pinky.
I've got the ring. I've got the ring. I could not afford the ball cap though.
You need to say, come here. Let me holler at you real quick. This is what you need.
Come here, girl.
Come here, guy. Come here, guy.
I don't think you're going for it. She stuck up. She a little bougie. I know one of the very first things that we talked about in building any kind of anything was it's not about at the end of the day we don't talk about profit. That doesn't determine our success. What determines our success is did we make progress, right? Were we productive? Because if you gauge it towards God likes me, loves me, his favor is on me because he gives me money, then a lot of days you won't feel favored and you'll be disappointed.
Right.
But did you make progress today? Moses went up the mountain, came right back down. He changed, but had no money. What kind of progress are we making? Did I receive anything, right? A new idea, because he came down with 2 tablets full of ideas, full of plans, full of the vision, but made no money. You can't be manipulated by that. And so somebody needs that. Don't equate your life to $1. Equate it to the progress that are you walking in the steps that God says, go here, go there, go there. Because at the end of it, it's going to add up and all make sense. It's going to take you going through some changes first, though.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. The change has to occur. So once the change occurs, that's when the sense start coming in.
Absolutely.
God's sense, the wisdom.
Good sense.
Yeah. Not worldly sense. I don't want the dinar. I want the wisdom. Because with the wisdom comes the growth, and with the growth comes the worldly sense.
Yeah, to discern and decipher.
Not all money is good money, as they say.
Listen, man. Some dollars need to be left, right? You can't catch every single one of them,
right?
And then, right, just like you said, man, all money ain't good money, and some good money is not godly money.
Right.
And some godly money ain't your money.
Right. I had an OG tell me one time, man, sometimes, man, just let things pass you by. Don't sit up here and think that because you leaving money on the table, that it's your money. He said that's the tip money. That's going to the waiter. He said, let that go. You ain't supposed to grab everything off the table.
I used to hate when they told me that. The old folk had a saying, son, let some things pass you.
Yeah.
I said, why in the world would I let some stuff pass me? I see the significance of that now. Our prayer here is, what's that, hon? Our prayer is God, if it's not good money,
it's not good, block it.
Block it.
Ooh. It's not good, block
So you hear?
I hear it.
The Bible say to train them up. I'd be around here with my whip. I'd be.
Hey, you gotta give them the lashes. You gotta, yeah.
I don't spare no rod, son. I don't. And if I don't have my rod, I carry the brush.
Yeah. You ain't got no hair.
Right now, you had your time. Be quiet. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. BB, put that knife down. He said, "This is what I want you to know, son. Let some stuff miss you, because everything that's coming for you is not from God. It may be for you, but some stuff is not for your living. It's for your killing." So Joseph wore a coat of many colors, given to him by his father who loved him. But when it came time for him to explain his dream, his daddy said, "Damn, son, you crazy." He gave him a coat that had many colors on it to let you know the war ahead of you, folk gonna be changing up on you. It's colorful, because you'll never be able to choose and pick and point out that they're one solid color that's interchangeable. One minute you white and wicked, the next you black and shady. I'm talking about folk who green because they hungry after money. They'll rob you and your kinfolk too. He says, I'm giving you the coat, trying to prepare you for everything that's going to hinder you Be careful about the folk who's around you. But he falls prey to it. Throw him in a pit. Say, shut up with all that dreaming, all that talking, all that believing, all that drawing and architecting. We want you to be quiet, so we'll bury you. Put them in a pit. But what didn't they know, Doc?
They didn't know that they was messing with an anointed one. They should have been, instead of worrying about throwing him away, they should have been worried about why they wasn't receiving dreams. They should have been worried about, well, if we come from Israel, who was formerly known as Jacob, and we're supposed to be the 12 tribes, we're the great nations, why are we not getting the same visions and dreams, and what's going on with us? Why? Maybe I need to be a little nicer. That's what they should have been focusing on instead of being jealous. Sometimes we just need to be happy and thankful and praise God for other people. Lord, I thank you. I praise you that my brother is getting dreams. My brother is stepping into his blessings, his calling. My brother is doing better. Lord, I thank you, because that makes me happy, and that lets me know that I'm next, because I know that with him and his, that this is gonna be on all sides of him. So guess what? He comes. I'm on one side of them. I'm on one side. So I know eventually he either gonna reach out and touch me, or Lord, you gonna reach out and touch me. Either way, I'm gonna get blessed. I know mine is coming, Lord. I thank you, Lord Jesus. I thank you. That's what we need to do. To be more happy. We need to be happy for other people. We need to be blessing. We need to speak progress and blessings onto people, even though they're already going through their blessings. Because sometimes it may seem on the outside that somebody's going through a blessing, but they may not understand it. They may not know and see what they're going through. Because when we go through change, that's exactly what it is. It's change. So sometimes we digging in our pocket and we pull out a whole bunch of change. Ah, man, I gotta sit there and count all this change. But guess what? You need somebody on the outside to tell you, hey, man, that's still money.
Oh, good.
Be thankful and count that change. You know what I'm saying? Like we have to sit back and just be thankful. We have to sit back and just praise God. What I always used to say, through the good and the seemingly bad.
Good and the seemingly bad.
Praise God.
Because it's all gonna work out for my good. It's gonna turn right for my glory. It's gonna be your testimony story. Not how you gave up, got out, but how you came to the conception in your mind that God still loves you, still had his hand of grace on you, still had favor around you, and that's what kept you. And Joseph, is that who we talking about still? Joseph.
Yeah, Joseph.
Joseph had a dream, and they put him in a pit. But what they failed to realize was you don't mess with people who are anointed. That's what you said. But I know the anointing is oil in our terms. But oil comes from an olive. And an olive comes from a seed. They don't know that they was just doing you a favor by stepping on you and stomping on you. They don't know that what they thought was going to kill you only prepared you to be grown to everything that God knew you to be. They didn't know that they was only doing God a favor, helping him miss a step or two, one that he didn't have to do to you. He said, I'll let people who you love, who you keep sharing with, well, I told you to shut up and don't say nothing to them about it. I'll let them save me a step. Let them hurt you, but can't kill you, play you, because they really can't handle you. But at the end of the day, Doc, they only was planting you. Don't feel played. You just playing it. Don't feel like they did you in. They just plant. Don't feel no kind of way. They just dug you, buried you. But God said, when you grew, you can come back and tell them that thank you for planting me. You planted me so God could grow me.
Yeah, that's why they didn't recognize him, because they left him as a seed. And when they came back to him, he was a plant. He was a tree. He said, I'll feed you. Y'all going through a famine? Oh, don't worry. I got plenty of food on me. Plenty of shade. Come here and get some rest. Let me show you what God has been doing.
That speaks to the humility of this man. Because there ain't too many of us that you cross me over, that you can come and are welcome at my table. You ain't gonna get over on me too many times and I keep on feeding your. I'm just, it's not gonna happen like that. But he said, come on in the room. Tell me your names. Take a load off and sit down. Rest your feet. Tell me your story. And he never tells them who he was or that he knew them. And God is elevating me. God is elevating you. God is elevating us to a place where I don't hold no grudge. I don't feel no kind of way. I'm just thankful that God brought me to a better place that I can help people who hated me yesterday.
That's what the calling of, that's what the calling of preparing a table in front of my enemies, with my enemies. Letting God know that I'm obedient enough to sit down with my so-called enemies in order to feed everybody.
David. What you know about David?
I know Joseph ended up saving everybody's life. I know it eventually got to the point where David did some things and stole and it helped preserve other people's life who didn't like him. They talked about him. They made fun of him.
That's right.
They said that you can't be. They said you need to step back. You need to get back. You need to fall off. You need to go away. But when it all came down to it, he said, Daniel said, hold on, King. Let me do this. And if when I do this, because I know a God who can interpret dreams, when I do this, I want you to spare everybody's life, not just mine and my brothers. I want you to spare everybody's life because this is that important to me. And after it was all said and done, I'm pretty sure they were coming to him or trying to walk past him embarrassed. And he didn't worry about nothing. He didn't worry nothing about that. He said, hey, guys, I'm glad that you're okay. Come on, let's go have some study. Let's go have some Bible study. Let's go do some things. Let's go enjoy this freedom that we have, this life that we've been given. Let's go do that.
You know, I read in that story, Doc, and I know we've talked about it before. I'm not gonna cap off on it right here. Joseph sold his people. Well, he sold their land, which consequently brought them into slavery. Egypt, as we would refer to it today, was taken from a bad deal. When your vision gets foggy, when you are so in-depth or intrigued, when you're so indulged in the dream, you need somebody often connected to you who can help you see that your dream is not wrong. Let me just bring different perspective to the vision. Maybe God was saying, lease it, don't sell it. Maybe he was saying, let's rent it, don't give it to them and allow them to own it. Maybe one of his bros could have been connected to him better to tell him that there's some things about this land you don't know. We don't have the deed. So if we give ourselves enough stream, then they'll own everything. It's that you got to have good people connected to you, but it has to be people that you trust. Many times you'll have to trust the enemies, frenemies, frameries. You'll have to trust people who you know don't like you, that they won't mess up the money with you, but they'll help steer you. Right? Because if you don't like me, then we ain't stealing together. if you don't fool with me, then you gonna make sure at the end of the day that I'm on the right track. Because you want to get paid your money. Is at the end of the day, you got to have somebody connected to you to help steer you. Somebody.
See, how do you know that? So for him selling the land, that wasn't a part of the plan. So that they were off doing whatever. Maybe they were sinning in God's eyes. And because of what happened in the first place, God gave him an opportunity to make certain provisions to where he can take care of his family. I don't know. I'm not necessarily in a position where I can go back home. But I know that if I do certain things, I can make sure my family's taken care of, period. They may not know, they may not like it if I told them, but God has blessed me with the opportunity to make certain deals, make certain moves in order so I can get my family to where I can be in arm's length, I can touch them, I can make sure that they're taken care of. So some people may not like the overall, but I guarantee you, you're going to be blessed in the outcome. Sometimes we have to tell people to shut up and just hop on board. I don't care if you want to leave, you don't want to leave your home. What I do know is that you stay there, you're going to die. So leave, come over here, because we've been instructed to get up and go. Because eventually we have a journey to go through.
Right. The land had been so depleted, not from the drought that God put him on the journey to save for. It had been so depleted by everybody doubting the dream that the land wouldn't grow anything. He said, "Cursed be the ground for the man's sake." And here's why the curse was. Because every time he tried to get up, there was some other man pulling him back down. Said, "Cursed be the ground." I need you in a place where it's not what you're used to, but it's where you understand God grew you. So you'll have to leave home a lot of times in the hometown. You'll have to leave friends that you knew all of your life and go form new ones. The new bonds and the new relationships, the new status and circumstances are not to dry you. It's the opposite. It's to fulfill you. But God had to sell everything that was your past so that you would never return back to it again. So I don't know if it's good or if it's bad, but I know that whatever they made it in, God provided a way out. So it must not have been so bad because they went in, and when God was tired of them being in, he brought them out. So it don't matter if we're in the red or we're in the green. It don't matter if we got a surplus or we are at the bottom of it. It don't matter if there are zeros in the account or we are under every O that they may close the account. God is going to bring me in, and my God, he's going to see you out.
Have you ever been so enveloped or so caught up with the vision? You know what's gonna come, but it's so strange to you that you're unsure on how, why, when of any of it. But God says that He's gonna put you through some things. He's gonna allow you to go through some things that you've never been before, in order so once you come out of, then you'll be clear. You'll think clear. You'll be able to see the manifestation of the dream. So maybe we had to go through living with some people that we knew that we didn't know that we was gonna live with. You know, Lord, I know you calling me in the future to be able to witness and be a priest and be able to bless and anoint and be a sign for other people. But Lord, I'm uncertain on how to do this, so maybe we had to go through certain things. Now I lost my place. Now I have to go live with somebody else. Maybe the living with somebody else wasn't a bad thing, maybe living with somebody else, coming from a whole one place to a whole nother land in order to live with somebody, so I can see how other people think, see how other people move, see what it's going to take in order to reach some people, and what it's not going to take to reach other people. How some people will be intrigued, and some people just ain't even going to want to see you. Maybe we have to go through the journey, the live, the unlive, the process in order to get to my blessing, because we're uncertain. We just know that we see the vision. We just know that we see the dream, that the calling is calling us. But if I'm away from the phone, but I hear it ring, am I going to be able to run to it, or am I just going to sit stagnant? So sometimes the Lord has to get us up out of our comfortability. In order so we can walk and go and experience life, in order so we can get to the phone so we can pick it up. Because I don't need to get to the phone and then it stops ringing. I don't need to get to the phone and make the phone call, because I know the call is coming. So I don't want to keep this line busy. So I'm going to keep it. Somebody calls, hey, don't call this phone. I'm about to be busy. You hang up. So we have to go through some things. We have to praise God through the process. Some people call it curses. I call it process. This is my process. This is my anointing. This is my growth. You can't grow without rain, without sun, without being stepped on a little bit, without having weather just sway you back and forth. We can't grow until we go through something. We can't grow until we go. That's what all that was about. The Lord called them to be something that they weren't ready to be. So they had to go through in order to become, in order to be.
My God. They have no idea that they look at you and they say that maybe God may have had his hand on you, but it seemed like something about you just ain't right. They just don't understand what you had to go through. There are some folk that look at your fruit and be like, good God, if I was him, or if I was her, they couldn't handle the weight of not what you are, but of what you was. Because it took a lot for God to change you and grow you and transform you. You just don't come here overnight, and folk have no idea what you grew through, what would have killed them. You grew through what they would have turned their backs on God. I grew through when everybody else walked out on you. I grew through when folk didn't return your phone call, folk didn't show up for you, folk made you realize it was you that hated you. It was the God inside of you calling you. Grow through it. Grow through it and go through it. You got to come to it first. You said your steps are ordered to come here. Not to give up. Get up. Go through. Grow through. It's the new you that he wants to grow you to. And gotta grow you.
I was having a conversation with somebody I met yesterday, and coming out of the gas station, and said something. They said something back. We're talking. So I eventually, let them know, a little bit of my testimony of what happened to me as a child, and how I'm blessed on this side. They were so just shocked. They stopped them in their tracks. They were like, "Wait, what? What? How are you? What's going on? Are you?" They were literally like, "I want to give you something. I don't know how to respond to that." And I was like, "You don't have to give me anything." I'm like, "That you take that as a blessing for you. Just know that there's people on the outside that have gone through things that can still have a smile on their face and still say praise God." And when I say that they were just so taken back and so intrigued that they want to hear more, even though they come from a church family. Their father is a pastor. I don't believe that they were so in some situations, just because somebody knows the scriptures doesn't mean that they know struggle, or doesn't mean that they know how to overcome the struggle, or how to interpret the dream, or how to interpret, or even how to know to hear for the phone call. So it takes for somebody to give them a a real world testimony, and for them to see that everything's okay. Like not everything is always going to be. So if I have a dark cloud above me and it seems like it's always raining on me, so what? Guess what? That means I'm in my growing process. That means I'm in my fruitful process, and I need to be thankful for the rain because I couldn't grow without rain. Me being a seed growing into being a plant, and then on further into a shrub, to a bush, to a tree. I need that rain. Some people may say, well, why it seem like you always down? Why it seem like it's always raining on you? It's because this is my season right now. And I just have to be thankful for my season. Because it's not always going to rain. They say you can't enjoy the sun until you go through a little bit of rain.
Just a little bit.
It may be raining, but the sun will come out in the morning. It may not be morning. We may be going through the happy phase, the soaking phase, but we have to mourn in order for us to get up. The sun will come out when we mourn. We got to mourn the death of. We got to mourn the death of. We have to mourn the death of, the process of, the hurt through, the why this, the hatred of that. We have to mourn it. That's why the sun comes out in the morning. In the morning. Morning like midnight. What is it? Go ahead. Go back. You said what?
Here. Morning, much like midnight, is just one moment. I want you to know that midnight only exists not for a minute, but a moment. Morning is the same thing. When you start going through the day, this is just the day. And then we come into afternoon, and then we come into evening, and then we hit the night. But midnight and morning are but moments. So I need you to move through time the same way I created it. Don't be manipulated by it. Mourn it, get over it, gone through a good day. You gotta leave everything that was good yesterday, good or bad. I leave it. I mourned it. Now I get up and I'm over it. I'm going to make it a better day. Even if it hurts you, I'm leaving it. Even if it was great to you, I'm growing bigger past that. You don't let yesterday limit you. Prove it. Midnight. That's the changing. That's everything that was yesterday, either bigger or better. If everything I didn't learn, I get it this time. If every attempt I would try and fail, then I either give up, get out, or I go on. It's the changing of it, because we've mourned it. Now we can move on. I need to grow from here. You said that we got to go through. And it's not always bad what we go through, because it's God's planning. And that's hard to take. That like God plans out for you, that you end up feeling bad, but God helps you helps it work out for your good. That's crazy to think that God uses actual bad things for your good come out, and then we still come up here happy. But the reason you can have a smile on your face is why they look at you and think things about you and try and find out in their mind, how can he have been through what he's gone through? How can you still hold your head up and smile too? How could you have handled the hell that you went through and still come and have a testimony and praise God too? It's because he's been growing me. And when other folk will fall prey and be under the attack of the enemy, you learn to grow. You learn to go and grow. You don't let it get you. You get up from here and you go on, because God grew you to this.
That's how people.
That's why I didn't know you this.
That's how people end up dead. That's how plants end up not growing, is because, or not being anything other than a bud or a seed, because they stay there and they stay stagnant and they die. They get drowned in the water. They get drowned in the sorrow, the the woes. I'm not gonna stay here. I've already been in the woes. I've already been in the sorrow. It's already rained on me. It's thundered. It's lightened. People have been stepping on me, spitting on me. They've been counting me out. The God's been counting me up. He's been growing me up, growing me through to where I had to poke through to that. Where now I'm just about grown to where people gonna start reaping the benefits of the tree that I've grown to be. Not that I'm not saying that I won't, but I will be so much of a blessing. God's gonna rain down so much of a blessing on me. He already is, that people are gonna be able to reap benefits, reap blessings of the things that's overflowing off of me. They just don't understand how deep and how far my roots go out.
They have no idea.
Yeah.
They have no idea. They look at the surface.
Yeah.
And they tell you that it can't be that deep. That it don't run. It's quick wealth, and so it's going run out overnight. But they didn't know that God was building a surplus, a reserve. God had a deposit factory down under you. What am I talking about? I'm talking about at the end of the day when you make the deposit, you come home and get on your knees in the closet. You God, I thank you for everything that you did yesterday. I thank you for what you provided for me today. And I thank you for what we're about to walk into. It's deeper underground, and you don't get here overnight.
No, they just don't know the pit that I was thrown in. The pit that people threw me into in order for the rebirth of who I am now, for people to say, well, it just seems like overnight. Well, like you said, we didn't get here overnight. It's because you walked away and came back, and it just seemed like all of a sudden I'm here. No. I had to go through some things. I am bigger. I'm better. I've strived to be here, all because of the grace of God, because of the strength that He gave me, not because of me. I don't boast about myself. The tree doesn't claim to stand there by its own might and will. It says if you can only see the roots that I'm embedded in, then you'll get why I can stand up so tall, why I can weather any storm and not break apart. Where things fall, they break, and then I save it because I've always just been there in order to be in the right place at the right time. I'm just here.
It's deeper than what they know. It's deeper than money and material. It's deeper than just clothes and a room. It's deeper than that. Because when I was alone, when I was stepped on, when I was underground, when I was buried, it's deeper than any kind of cash, any kind of man or woman. It's deeper than any kind of vehicle. Because at the end of the day, when I was on my own, left alone, I wasn't planted, I was buried. So God didn't give up on me. But God determined that even though I was a seed that I couldn't even see, He called greater from me, greater on me, greater of me. Prove it, preacher. He grew me. He grew me. He grew me. I'm not trying to preach it. I'm just trying to get somebody to understand it. Is that you don't come here overnight, but you've been here many nights. You've been on your face when nothing came through. God bless you. God, I thank you. God, I praise you anyway. It ain't overnight success. It is years in the digress that I stay in the trenches praying. God, fight the battle for me. Go ahead of me. Be the David in front of Goliath. Be the stone in the hand that I throw it, that I don't end up falling prey to it. God, defeat it. That's why I can grow and not fall when giants come to walk around me. Not David, the tree, because I'm planted like a tree beside the waters. I'm unmovable. I'm good fertilized. I'm planted in good ground. It was hard. It was tough ground. It wasn't easy being planted here, growing out of here, moving away from here, growing bigger than what people thought you ever could. They have no idea how much their doubt grew you. So everybody who doubted on you, Everybody who hated you, lied on you. Everybody who stepped on you, thank you. Thank you for helping me grow through this. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have grown to this.
So with plants, there's a proven study that if someone were to talk to it, you know, when they play sweet music to it, that it grows that much better, faster, and is stronger. It produces more fruit or whatever it grows to be.
Yes, yeah.
So I do have to thank God for talking to me while I was in the growing process, because a lot of people they misinterpret or misunderstand why God had to talk to him. Maybe sometimes it's the words are kind of jumbled because, you know, they're under the ground and they haven't budded up yet, sprouted through. A little bit jumbled, but I know if you stay the course and you continues to go, then you'll hear the words a lot more clearer, into where once you come out of the ground, you'll start growing and you'll start hearing and seeing a lot much better. So we have to thank God for the growth and for the conversation. Thank you, Lord.
He talks with me.
Yeah.
He walks with me. That's what the old folk used to sing back in the day. And he goes along with me all on the way. He said he don't never leave. That's what the word says. It says he'll never leave you. That even if you made your bed in hell, it says he'll be right there with you. It says the hand of the Lord is never too short to save, nor his ear too dull to hear. His glasses don't need a correction. He don't need to wear contacts. Even when your flesh can't handle him, his voice is still found wandering after you, following you, chasing you.
What did it say? His voice was walking in the garden through the cool of the day. I didn't necessarily realize that there was other people planted on side of me and in front of me and all around me, but his voice was walking through the garden in the cool of the day. I didn't realize we were in a garden. I didn't realize that there was other people around me, but I thank the Lord that it wasn't just me. I thank the Lord that his voice, there was other people growing. There was other people hearing. There was other people going through. And see, we don't realize that it's more than just me here until we start growing up and we start looking around and see that it's more than just me. So now that I see that it's more than just me, maybe when I see somebody who was planted maybe before me or after me hasn't quite grown up, and maybe sometimes when they don't hear the Lord's voice, or maybe he's already come through and they weren't ready, maybe I can speak in order to help them. Maybe they can get anchored onto me. Maybe I can get anchored onto them. All I know is we all gonna grow together because we're in a garden. A garden is a group of plants, a group of things.
Community.
Right, it's a community. We growing together. I'm not gonna grow and not allow you to grow. We all gonna grow together. This is the garden. The Lord's voice was called walking in the cool of the day in the garden.
Come on.
The garden of what? The Garden of Eden.
Come on.
The blessed place, the anointed place, the place that he set aside for everybody's growth, for their fruitfulness. Say, go forth and be fruitful. Well, I am the fruit.
That's good. That's good. It wasn't out on the outside of the garden where he cursed the man to go to, that he would have to work by the toil of his hand, but by the sweat of his brow was he able to feed his family all the days of not there. It was in the garden. It says that he planted Eden. That's what it said. God planted Eden and then placed the man on the Upper East Side. Oh, there's something about being on the Upper East Side, Doc. Well, you got to know that that's where the Spirit of the Lord not lives. He just reveals here. He just allows us to see him here. If we could only have just an encounter with him, then the knowledge that I didn't understand that he'll walk and talk with me, then the places I would fall prey, not to sand, but sin, he says he would carry me. If every place I would let an item or a material get in front of the importance of people, he says, I'll deliver you. Prove it. Moses, lift your hands and I'll fight for you. Prove it. Jesus, I know that they call you, but let them crucify you. I'll raise you. Prove it. Stephen, let them stone you. But open your eyes and see that he's not seated, but he's standing on the throne just for you. Prove it in the end times, that the days we live in now. Know that your trouble may be hard and your trial may be tough. But one day the clouds are going to open. And God is going to come down and say, that's enough. And we'll be able to go home with him to not the mansion, but the house that holds it. Be able to say, this is my reward, that I'm able to see it because I took the steps, stepped into heaven. I walked on up here. Where we get pizza from? Good God. Glory God.
Here's another way how I know that water is important. A, for the planting, for the plant, for the growth, for the calling, and for the blessing. We all need it. And it says in Revelation that after that everything is completed, the new Jerusalem comes down, the new earth, I guess, it says that there will be no more seas.
Come on.
So why is it that we have to have seeds now, but we won't have to have seeds then? It's because then, in the future, whenever the all this stuff ends, we're all going to be able to see God. We're not going to need water to distort the vision.
Good God.
That's why he gave us water. So because he knew that things were going to happen and we were going to try and run away. And so he left his water. He left a little bit of himself here so we can get fresh with his anointing. But I know in the future, we're not going to need water because we're going to all be able to just see him. But it's not going to be a temple either because he's going to be the temple. We're just going to be able to go to him and praise and worship. You don't need no temple. We don't need to make no more sacrifices.
Come on.
This is a new place. This is a new temple. This is a new. It's not going to be any more need for heaven either. It's going to be the new Jerusalem. God and Jesus is going to be up there. God and Yahweh Shai. They're going to be just right there. Hey, I'm about to go over here and talk to God real quick. You want to come with me? Well, of course I do. Let's go. That's it. That's how I know water is important.
It's something to look forward to. It's the living water.
Yeah.
Jesus told the woman at the well, he says, if you only knew. And she said, I know you talking about what I know, but can't you see it's deeper than that? So there ain't nothing too deep for God. You gotta know that whatever deep-seated, whatever ill heart, whoever didn't like, whoever prayed against you while holding hands with you, it says that it wasn't even that deep. It may have been deep for you, but it wasn't deep for God to see through their ill intent and still bless you. He said that it's going to work out. I know it seems like a drought. It's going to work out. I know it seems like a flood. It's going to work. I know it seems like fire. It's going to work out. I know it seems like a cross. It's going to work out. So I tell myself that today, I'm going to be honest with you. I was stressing. Didn't get no sleep. 3 days I've been up trying to get the rent. Because God knows I got about $22, which means I'm like $1,788 short. And he told me this morning, he said, listen to where I lead you. Go that way and I won't leave you. and you wrote me and said, Jay, let's refocus. Let's push out some message. Let's get the content so we can change the evidence. Let's change the story so that the indictment don't work against you, but it works for your glory. And in my spirit, I'm like apprehensive. I'm like, this Negro, if he only knew what I got going on over here, he wouldn't be bothering me. God said, listen to my spirit. That God brought us here today to be sign of evidence, not that he'll pay it, but that he'll give you peace to go through it, that this only grows you. That the same way he's been preparing a way for you, that the same way he brought you, that the same way he healed them that was next to you and let you see it, the same way he didn't let that kill you, that destroy you, that God has not forgotten about you. It says, drink of this. I know it's deep, but if you knew who was asking you, it says you wouldn't be asking me why I'm asking you. You'll be asking me, can I give it to you?
Right.
We got to change the way we're questioning it. Not God, can you? God, how do I thank you? Because I know it's already done. I'm not telling you how big my problem is. I'm talking about how big of a rescue God was for saving me out of that one. Don't forget him. After he paid it, still be as consumed as you were before he paid it in praising him. After he blesses you with him, thank him after you've got him and everything is going good. God, I thank you for them. Thank you for it. I thank you for waking up. And we forget that so many people were buried and thought they were planted. And we don't see them. Right. You ain't heard of them. But you really thought you were planted. And God saw the enemy buried you. Not the devil, you buried you. But he still rose you. You come here to go through, to grow through it.
Let me tell you something, man. Sometimes we have to show up in front of God 1788 short. We have to let him know that here's my 22. Lord, I need for you to be the rest of it.
Yeah.
We show up as humble as we possibly can with just the 22 and thanking him that the 1722, 1788 is nothing. Because when he shows up with the millions, we need to be able to give him all the praise and all the glory from the first fruits.
That's right.
I don't know if the 22 would be the first fruits or if that would be the last fruits, but I know that whenever he shows up and he shows out, we need to be in dire straits of making sure that we give him what is his. We take the time to thank him in everything that he's ever given us, that he will ever give us, that he's ever thanked us, that he's ever shown us, that he's ever just shown up and been there and hugged us and he talked to us. Because we know for a while we were buried. We know for a while that we thought that we were dead because we thought we were 6 feet deep. But no. We were way deeper than that because he had to get us deep rooted. 1788. Fine. But I know the millions are coming. I know the anointings are here. How is it that we have this money, but we can't see it? Oh, maybe because I didn't check the right account. Maybe because I haven't lifted up the phone that he told me to lift up and look and see what's going on. Maybe that I've been checking the wrong bank account. They're there. The funds are there. The question is are we going to get up and are we going to get up in order to be able to check. That's all he wants us to do. Check.
Check, check.
Check. The change has already happened. We just need to check for the change.
You gotta check. Shit. Oh, my God. You gotta check. What's the check that I'm still what's that's the if every time that thing beats, that's the blood. It was already paid. It don't gotta touch my hands. It's already check. Whenever you're in doubt, just as long as you have rhythm there, even when it's light, you can. I know that the blood still runs through me, which means he still paid it for me. It's still already mended because of me. It ain't gonna run you over and kill you. You know why? Because he goes back in time. The blood says it flows from the highest, from the mountain. The mountain, dog. That's Mount Sinai, where Moses was, where the change happened. He didn't grow older in years, but grew older in his face. Because once you encounter God, it's the blood that covers you, that protects your life, but it'll age your mind. It was on the mountaintop. What am I? I'm talking about when they came over the valley into the field. David says that Goliath came over the mountain. It was the mountain that you have to know that God didn't move it. But somewhere when it came to the commotion, there was the little boy opposed by the demonic spirit. He didn't say he moved the mountain. He said that he went around it and came down it. You got to know that the mountain is able to be moved. God, I ain't gotta touch it. I just speak to it. You do it.
Right.
You fix it.
Maybe that's why Jesus walked around the mountain, because he's leaving the mountain for us to speak to, for us to have the faith in order to say, well, Lord, why haven't you moved this mountain? He says, because you can do it. What did Peter say? My Lord called me out there on the water. He said, come on.
That's right.
He walked out there, and then when he started losing his faith, he started taking his eye off of Jesus. That's when he started sinking. Jesus said, oh, ye have little faith. Why did you take your eyes off me? Why did you lose your faith? Maybe that's the calling of saying, like, maybe this mountain is still here because I haven't spoke to it.
Peter reached out. A lot of people sink and forget to reach. And they say because you explain scripture, Doc, as well as you do, and you want to stand up and talk to them who got it, maybe a wrong interpretation that the world has too. They say you're reaching. No, you ain't trying to reach for words. You trying to reach for the anointing come and help you. You trying to reach for the glory to come and save you. You reaching for it, absolutely. But I'm reaching for everything that is my healing and my deliverance.
But guess what?
Everything, I don't struggle with it. I'm not prey to it. I don't go and sleep with it. I can walk away from it. You got to reach for it. You said, we don't have it. We ain't asked for it. We ain't spoke to it. We're not reaching.
Also, with the reach, guess what we got to do?
What's that?
We got to step. All the way back to the beginning. We got to step into our calling and blessings. We got to step. You can't just reach, because sometimes you're going to be reaching and you're going to fall out your chair. But you got to step. All the way back home.
My God. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Boy, you pulpit ready, sir.
I want you to do me a favor today, Jay. I want you to do me a favor, Doc. I want you to step. And while you're stepping, I want you to reach. And while you're reaching, I want you to praise. And while you're praising, I want you to thank.
I can do that. I can do that. I can do that. I can do that. I'm reaching for it, but I'm stepping in it. Yeah. Not in it, stepping out of it. I'm reaching for it, but I'm stepping out. You gotta step out of this. I gotta step out of this. I ain't gotta do. I am stepping out. I'm walking out. I'm walking out and walking into. This is the next and the new. This is not always in projection of what God is about to do. Is what I'm walking into. I can see it that God already did it. We just didn't walk into it. They said that Jesus was behind that stone all them days and all them nights, and nobody could move it. So he reached from death all the way to heaven, touched God, tapped him on the shoulder, and said, come get somebody to move this stone so I can walk up out of here. Said he reached heaven, but his feet had to do movement. He walked out. I don't need nobody to see me. I'm still walking out. I don't need nobody to clap for me. I'm still walking out. You don't need nobody to affirm your name or put it in lights around you. You know the door has been moved. Every stumbling block, every hindrance, every hurt, every hurdle. God says, I'll send the angels because man couldn't handle what was holding you. They didn't even want to be around it. He says, I'll move it. But when I do, recognize who moved it for you. Get up and step for him. So you don't walk for you. I don't walk for me. That's why our footsteps are light. We ain't stumping. We ain't comeback boots. We ain't around eggshells.
Right.
What we are, my steps are ordered. God, however you want to lead me, I'll walk behind you. That his voice I follows. It's not him chasing me. God, I'm after your voice. I'm after your word. I'm after every time he says something.
Right.
I'm following him.
I know when I was a kid, my dad had me trained so much to the point where when he called, I had to go and see what he wanted. I couldn't say yes, sir, or holler at him. I'm in there watching TV in the playroom, and then I swear I heard his name. So now I get up and I go to his room. Daddy, you call me? No, boy, I ain't call you. That's how we need to be with the Lord. Say, Lord, you call me? You tell me what
You better not scream across no house. You get up and go find out what he wanted.
Be obedient even when we're not being called. That shows that we willing and we ready. No matter
Can
what.
you walk while they're not watching?
Yeah, that's called integrity.
That's a big word.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We're not in the 3rd grade no more. We are in
Group.
the 4th. I wouldn't say the 4th grade, but the 4th anointing, the 4th blessing, the rounding the 4th.
You mean to tell me you ain't new to this? You grew to this?
Yeah. I'm not new. I've been here before. I just have to stay humble, like I'm a 4-year-old.
You ain't just show up here, but you grew up here.
I've been here for a while.
You ain't just fly here.
I know I may seem a little green behind the ears, but when I pull this wisdom out from back here, people gonna know. They gonna be like, well, I thought, you could have. Yeah, no, it's okay. I understand. I don't take any ill will or any bad feelings for people who think that I look like a child. I appreciate it. I sure am a child because we're supposed to be like children in the eyes of the Lord. So we're gonna stay there.
I'm glad that I don't look like the hell you've been through. Because all of us can't look as terrible as you. But I'm glad I still look young, even though I done been through. You said that I need you to know that R. Kelly was a servant on yesterday, because he wrote the song that I gotta sing to you anyway. You gotta learn not to sit in the name of evil. But you gotta learn to step in the name of love. That God is that love that loved you when the world wanted to lose you, make you forget you, and they said that you was lost to anything that could save you. He says, I'll step for you. Can you just be a servant for me? Step for me too. So I'll step in the name of love, Doc Eyes. Step. If I could sing, this would be my moment, but I can't, so it ain't.
Right. Yeah. We just gonna sit here and just praise the Lord.
Thank you. Thank you, God.
So, folks, remember, we have to step into our calling and our blessing, no matter what. Even if it feels like you are in quicksand. If you feel like you're in quicksand, leave me a comment and I'll send you a video of how to get out of quicksand. There's always ways. Where there's a will, there's a way. My name may not be Will, but the Lord sure will make a way.
Yeah, he will. Yes, will. Won't he, won't he, won't he, won't he? Won't he, will. Glory. Thank you. Y'all join us on Facebook. In 2 minutes. Y'all there yet? Come on over here.
I'm actually going to, I'm about to go and get this podcast going. I'm going to figure some things out on that. I'm going to finish creating it because before the day is up, we are going to push content on that, young man. So hope you're ready. Oh, the fact that your screen is kind of like moving in and out, that lets me know that you haven't froze yet.
Okay, sorry.
It's adjusted to your face. I was like, yeah.
He's trying to do that from time to time so I can just ease my hand, but I don't have no help in the background to turn it off, so I just fade out in the background. I didn't start it, so I can't turn it off.
Guys, we appreciate you. Thank you for coming out and watching. Please stay tuned because we'll be giving you notices of Bible Sense.
Bible Sense. Oh, follow that page on Instagram. On podcast, all platforms. Bible Sense. That's BIBLECENTS. Trevor has the motto for it, the slogan for it.
We're just here to give a little change.
Just a little change. We make it make sense.
Making the Bible make sense, dropping a little change. There we go.
Make it make sense. Make a little change. I like you quick on your butt, son. I like that. I like that. I like that. All right.
Let you know, man.
We'll talk to you in a few.
Yes, sir.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Appreciate you for having us.
Yes, sir. I'll see you later.
All right, man. Daddy, where you want it?